From the 1970s till the latter half of the 1990s, video games were seen as a rival to films and television. In this 20-year period, we saw gaming evolve through numerous ups and downs. First, arcade machines, then consoles, then PC gaming and handhelds. However, around the 2000s is when everything changes. People discovered that gaming as a form of entertainment can be used to earn money. A lot of it. Combine this with the rise of mobile phones and the floodgates had truly been opened. Today, gaming revenue exceeds over $165 billion, with over half of that revenue coming from mobile gaming. That is a lot of money. And with that much money, there must have been a lot of thought put into how to maximize those dollars. Today, I want to take you with me, so you can learn how companies are using your hobby for profit. Awareness is key, and it might save you a lot of money in the future. Today, we answer the question as to how game companies trick you into spending your money. Let's start with something important to note. The question whether the ways that companies exploit your psyche into spending money is moral or not won't be discussed today. Companies need to earn money to stay afloat after all. This, however, is not what we're interested in today. This video will be merely stating the ways in which they do it, not whether it is moral. Discussing whether companies are inherently evil is something you can do with your philosophy professor. First things first, let's talk about some fallacies you and I share. Fallacies are described as a mistaken belief or a failure in reasoning. Let's start with the most obvious one, the gambler's fallacy. This occurs when you believe that odds change based on previous outcomes. A quick example would be a simple coin flip. Let's say you flip a coin and it lands on heads. A simple 50-50 chance. Now let's do this again and hitting heads again and again and again. At some point you might be starting to think, surely the next time it will be tails, right? Believing that the next coin flip is more likely to hit tails instead of heads, because heads has occurred so often in the past, is precisely the gambler's fallacy. No matter how many times you flip the coin, the next flip will remain a 50-50. You will see this a lot in gacha games, where people will think that after spending so many wishes, surely the reward is about to come up. But the odds will never change, of course. Another fallacy is the sunk cost fallacy. This one describes that once you invest time and money into something, you will start to value it more and more. Now, these fallacies are both well known, but it's good to brush up on these as we move further into the video. If you are unfamiliar with them, however, I will leave some useful information about them in the description below, so you can get yourself familiar with them. With these in mind, let's take a look at the first trick developers pull to get you to spend your money. For the purpose of this video, let's say that I am making a game. I am a firm believer that habits get created by two things, repetition and convenience. The first part is well known. If you do something every day, it will slowly but surely become a habit of yours. But convenience is often overlooked. Which of these scenarios would you get you to more likely to eat a donut right now? If A, the donut was right next to you in your arm's reach, or B, if you had to run to the store to buy a donut and go home before eating it. Option A is more likely to get you to eat the donut earlier. Not because you're hungrier or anything, but simply because the donut is right there, so you might as well. Convenience gets us to do things earlier than we otherwise would have. So now let's take that concept and apply it to video games. Have you seen this screen? A beginner's bundle. This type of content is in every single game these days. League of Legends has beginner bundles, every mobile game has a beginner bundle, Genshin Impact has a top-up bonus. These bonuses are often incredibly cheap and incredibly valuable for their price compared to other products in their respective shops. But why? To get you hooked on the game as fast as possible? Yeah, that's partly the reason. But way more importantly, it's to get you to make that first purchase. To get your card information saved. Because once you've gone through the hassle of connecting your stuff to the game and making your first purchase, the next purchase will be as simple as 2 clicks. The first purchase is the most important one. It's that first step towards that slippery slope. Once they have you once, the odds become increasingly higher that you will buy something again. But if you spend your money, what you might not realize is that you are a rare sight, because what I would absolutely not want you to know is that the vast majority of people do not spend money on my game. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that you don't realize this. I will promote very lucky moments from players in the community. Players themselves hate to share their losses, but they love to tell you when they are winning. And I know that the winnings you earn from spending your money becomes a social thing. You want to let your friends know what you did and what you earned with that money that you spent. And no item is worth flexing as much as an item that is limited. Limited edition items are everywhere, and they absolutely breed on your fear of missing out. And also your desire to show your friends that you got it. Showing these items off for me means that by downloading my game, not only will you have a fun game to play obviously, but if you spend some money on it, you can get this awesome limited edition item. And I will promote the hell out of that. Without this limited edition item, you cannot live. It will help you tremendously, but only if you buy it in this super limited time frame. Oh, and make sure to share this with all your friends, as I conveniently place social links to help you do so in but a few clicks. Okay, let's calm down for a moment. Because to get you to spend some money on my game, I surely want you to be playing it in the first place, right? And I want you to come back to my game as much as possible. Because, like I said, habits get formed by repetition. The more you log into my game, the more likely you are that one day you'll spend some money on it. So what I think I will do is I will reward you for checking into my game. If you log into my game today, I will give you a couple of coins. And if you promise me that you will log into tomorrow, I will give you a couple more coins. But to get these coins, I also want you to do a couple of things. I want you to experience my game for a few minutes to really get it in your brain that this is a thing that should become a habit of yours. Battle passes and daily missions. Log into my game and do some missions, and I will reward you. Pay a small fee, and I will reward you tremendously for your efforts. Make logging in a habit of yours, so I know that you will keep coming back. By the way, did you keep track of how much you spent so far? I remember your last purchase was $50. And what bought you that? 6,048 gems? Well, what's a gem, you might ask? I'm not sure, but with these gems you can get crystals. 6,048 gems should convert to about 3,512 crystals, which should convert to about 1,240 rubies, which is barely, just barely, not enough to buy my limited edition item, as it would cost you 1,400 rubies. I'm sure you're curious how many dollars that will convert to, but I'm really not telling you that, as I hope that all these artificial numbers will confuse you so much that you just sort of forget how much money you've really been spending. The harder it is for you to math out how much money exactly you're spending, the less likely you are to consider your past purchases. Did you buy these rubies with money, or did you earn them via a quest? Who cares? You only need 100 more to buy my weapon, so you might as well buy some before the limited edition runs out. By the way, have you seen my shop? I want there to be no end to the amount of things you can buy in my shop. I will offer you countless upon countless of items for you to spend your money on. Of what use would my shop be if you could only buy a $2 silver armor piece? What if you want the armor to be orange or black? Or what if you wanted to have spikes on it for just a couple more dollars? I can create countless items readily available for you to buy, and I will handsomely reward you with in-game loot if you are a collector. Buy all the items from this set and I will give you a nice bonus. So, what have I really done here? I've created numerous ways to make your first purchase as likely as possible. If I get you once, I will get you again, because now it's convenient. I've created multiple systems that get you to come back. You want what's at the end of the battle pass, and you want these simple daily login rewards. I've diluted all visual references to your dollars by making you convert them into lots of confusing currencies that don't resemble at all what you spent in the first place. I don't want your brain to actively think about the dollar. I want it to think about the ruby. I've made sure to entice you to promote your winnings by having social links ready for you. I don't want you to know how out of the ordinary it is for you to spend money on my game. I've created limited edition items, so you can feel the need to buy something now, because if you don't, you will absolutely miss out on it. But, you know, maybe I'll bring it back in the future anyway, who knows, surely something limited can create hype for me. And lastly, I filled up my shop with so many items you can spend as much as you want. And you bet that I will reward you for creating such a nice looking collection. Now, all of these things, when pointed out in a vacuum, become obvious. But you need to be aware that you and I are not immune to this type of marketing. And I don't even really think that's such a bad thing. You shouldn't feel ashamed to fall into some sort of trap. All of us do. And it's fine to buy something every once in a while. You just have to be aware that what you're spending is money that you can afford to spend. I won't judge you for spending hundreds of dollars on whatever waifu you want to get if that's money that you can miss just fine. But I do want you to be aware that companies think about this way more than you might realize. They are incredibly clever, and new ways to get through to you get found very regularly. Make sure that you stay vigilant with your money. That being said, my name has been Yeeves. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.